Welcome to Conversations. My name is Suresh Kochatar. Bombay High Court has struck down the centre's fact-checking unit, calling it a freedom of speech and right to equality violation. Well, what's the story all about? Let's get into that. But before we do that, I would like you to subscribe to SA Media, ring the notification bell and also like this video. Now let's get into the details of what we are talking about. Fact-checking, we know, is a big business. Each side of the political divide has its own ways of calling out the fake news. But the problem is when the government tries to call out such fake news, especially when it's about the government schemes and announcements, the courts feel that it's an attack on the freedom of expression. Well, what did the court say? Because Bombay High Court, the two-judge bench actually disagreed on this. So a third judge had to come in and give the judgment, and that went into favor of the petitioners against the union government. So let's look at it. It described, in fact, the judgment of the third judge described the infringement on the right of equality and freedom of speech. And the Bombay High Court and tried to actually quash this amendment, information technology rules, enabling the centre to set up its own fact-check unit and flag the social media content about its functioning as fake, false or misleading. In fact, holding the fact-checking unit to be unconstitutional, Justice A.S. Chandrachud of the Bombay High Court, who served as the tiebreaker judge after a division bench, as I said before, in January 2024, delivered a split verdict, describing the expression for fake, false and misleading as vague and overboard. In fact, Justice Chandrachud told about the fact-checking unit in a sense that it is arbiter of its own cause, mirroring the view of Justice Patel, who had on January 31st, 2024 struck down the rule as unconstitutional, vague and disproportionate. In fact, Justice Patel had differed with Justice Neela Gokhale of the two-judge bench that heard the matter before and arrived at a split verdict, thus bringing in the opinion before a third judge. Well, Justice Chandrachud, Justice Chandurkar. What Justice Chandurkar has missed is that many of the private fact-checking units that are already working on behalf of the political parties do it their own way. There is Zubair, whose alt news is funded by DMK, Congress and even George Soros, and targets any posts that are posted by BJP or right-wing handles. It's even more worrying that Justice Chandurkar said that the fact-checking unit rule would have a chilling effect on individuals as well as intermediaries, which is basically Facebook, Twitter, Instagram or whatever it is. As well as the new rule could have led to a loss of safe harbor concept against the legal action on these social media platforms, if the fact-checking unit had flagged the content and was not acted upon. So today the courts are doing it. Courts are telling the intermediaries or the social media platforms to take down certain things, or the police are telling them, and then they are complying with it. In many cases they don't comply with it. The same social media intermediaries had taken down and still suspends many social media handles and YouTube channels, which is inimical to anyone who has a pro-Modi tilt. So if there is a pro-Modi story or a tweet, that is kind of pressed down, the number of responses are brought down, it is kind of shadow banned, and that is what we are seeing. Yet the Modi government doesn't do anything about it. Well, we saw this in case of String Vinod, who targeted George Soros and the Open Society Foundation openly. First, his videos were banned, shadow banned that is, one by one, and then his entire YouTube channel was suspended. The sad part is that the BJP, with whom he was indirectly supporting all along, did nothing to pull up YouTube. In fact, I myself have been suspended by Facebook a number of times and even got a warning last week about a posting of a video which Prime Minister Narendra Modi had posted. Facebook claimed that it violated the policies. Imagine the post of a Prime Minister of India being shared is taken down by Facebook and other social media outfits. So who are these people who are sitting there and checking these things? Why are the courts not preventing them from doing this? Why are they blocking posts? Why are they blocking it as fake? And the likes of Zubair, why are they not being controlled? In fact, when Zubair's case came up, the same Supreme Court talked of freedom of expression. In fact, the fact-checking unit rule is a sound safeguard according to Justice Chandurkar. In fact, he rejected the centre's stand on making the FCU's findings subject to a legal challenge, which was a safeguard, which is good enough. But no, the judge felt no, it is not good enough. In fact, he said, under the right of freedom of speech and expression, there is no further right to the truth. I wonder what that is. Nor is it the responsibility of the state to ensure that the citizens are entitled to information that is not fake or misleading as identified by the FCO. So tomorrow Pakistan can, through their handles, post a lot of stuff against India, yet the Indian government cannot do anything. Because there's no way of telling somebody that this is fake stuff. But Zubair can do it, others can do it, leftist publications can do it, even YouTube and Twitter and Facebook can ban you. But Union government cannot do it. The judge who gave the judgment also said there was no rationale to undertake the exercise in determining whether the information related to the business of the central government is either fake or misleading. Come on. When it is misleading, when it is fake, it is fake. But the problem was, they said, oh, this is only for the digital form. That's what the petitioner said, including Kunal Kamra. But it is not for print. Well, that's a disputed point. The print at least has some safeguard. There's a Press Council of India. There is other methods to stop them. But digital spreads very fast. And there's no way of stopping them. And anybody can do anything. In fact, Justice Chandorkar in this 99-page opinion accepted all the major contentions raised by comedian Kunal Kamra and others who challenged the constitutional validity, citing chilling effects on the fundamental rights. So, you can publish fake news, Kunal Kamra and others, but the government can't take it down. So, anything and everything against, say, Prime Minister Modi tomorrow cannot be taken down, because that's what the Supreme Court just said, or rather the Bombay High Court said. And I'm sure the Supreme Court will say the same thing. All about Article 14, which is right to equality, Article 19(1)(a), which is freedom of speech, and Article 19(1)(g), which is freedom of trade of the Constitution. Everything will be thrown in. In fact, this judge, the third judge's ruling, renders a majority view of against the FCU by 2:1. In fact, the judgment to strike down the rule will be formally pronounced by the two-judge bench. It will go back to them again, assigned on the roster by one of the judges, being Justice Gokhale. In fact, this is a sad thing, because the country is flooded with fake news. But the best part, or the worst part, is that these false and misleading and fake and digital news that Kamra and others are quoting, well, there is another way to it. In fact, the Editors Guild of India, the News Broadcasters and Digital Association of India, and Association of India Magazine challenged this decision, citing vagueness and over. I think what the Union government needs to do is come out with a more stringent law. Let them strike it down again. Let's see what happens. Or even the parliament should pass a bill like this. Because there cannot be fake news that is being peddled on social media. It has to be a two-way traffic. You cannot take down right-wing posts. You cannot ban right-wing handles. This is just not done. Whereas the leftist, the communist, they enjoy a free run. So the people sitting in Facebook or Twitter or YouTube who are monitoring all this have a certain sense of thought. And that is what the most important thing. The rule, in fact, cannot be saved by reading down. Justice Chandorkar concluded, rejecting the centre's contention, having adopted the least restrictive practice mode. And that is what the centre said. In fact, the judge also said the Editors Guild of India is justified in its grievance with both the print media as well as digital platforms. Yes, the government should have bought in the print media also. That would have sorted the problem out. In fact, the most ironical thing is that the state governments, say for in Kerala, which arrest anybody and everybody who comments against them, and the courts have no issues. But the union government cannot flag it as fake. Whereas the state governments, Tamil Nadu arrested a Bihar social media activist because he posted a video. So that is okay with the courts. But then anybody who comments against the union government cannot be touched. I mean, nothing can be more ridiculous than this. There has to be a new law. And that is what we need to do. If there is a law, it should be same for everybody. Leftists and the so-called liberals get protection, where the right wing get arrested and thrown into the lockup. And we've seen in numerous cases like this, from West Bengal to Tamil Nadu to Kerala. Well, it cannot be a one-way street. The law is same for everybody, or should be same for everybody. The union government should bring in another law which is more strict, more clear, remove all the vagueness which the court described. Let them go back to the Supreme Court again and challenge it. And that is what should be done. And also the government off the record should kind of pull up the social media, intermediaries, if they call that, to ask them what is the standard law. Twitter was supposed to appoint a points person whom we could put a grievance to. Nothing has been done till date. Whom do we go and complain about Twitter? Nobody. Facebook? Nobody. You call up the call center, doesn't exist. So we need to have, what about YouTube? Why did my video get a video or strike? You should ask the question. No, whom do we ask? There's nobody. There has to be an ombudsman. There has to be somebody who's responding to our queries within 24 hours as the government had mandated. But nothing is being done. What they're told, there was a recent lawyer who went, I think it was Twitter. He went and said for X, and he said, oh, we cannot do anything because our company is in the US. Even same with Facebook. Oh, our company is there. So then shut down your Indian operations. Simple as that. Don't operate from here. Don't take ads from India. This is what should be done. And I think that is how the government should react to it. If the courts want a particular sense of the view by, kind of siding with the lefties and the commies, the government has to take a tough stand to protect the right-wing handles too. It is their responsibility. Thank you for watching. Jai Hind.